wake up to who you know you are. Aiming for the stars, messed up and shattered my head on Mars. Falling hard, it has to wake up to who you know you are.
Welcome to the IDP show. I'm your host, Josh Raymer, joined in the Sode Shack tonight. On my right, Adam Markham. On my left, Bobby Reynolds. Gentlemen, how are we this evening?
Doing very well, Josh. How are you, fellas?
I'm doing great. Bobo, what's up with you, man?
Same old stuff. Hey, fall was fun. You know, that week we had here.
We get it for about 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how Kentucky's feeling this year. And Kentucky was feeling like we needed about 2.5 weeks of fall.
Yeah, it's cold in here. Although, I mean, it's not as bad as it could be. I was talking to Belly this week, and it sounds like it's 40 degrees up in Michigan. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'd kill myself.
Like, that's the high for the day is 40?
He said, like, there's no more golf. I'm like, all right, well,
man, that's a bummer.
that is just depressing, bro.
Can you imagine? I really do feel bad for some of those guys up there that's just like, yep, it's snow season, and we'll dig out in, I don't know, March, April, sometime there.
Yeah.
I like a couple weeks of snow. If it's going to be cold, give me just a little bit of snow. But, God, I don't want to be digging my car out of the snow and shoveling my driveway or paying someone to shovel my driveway.
Or calling me to say
calling
Bob.
Bobby to shovel my driveway. I don't even mow my own yard, so I'm definitely not shoveling my own driveway.
Pitiful, Josh. Your
It is.
manhood is decreasing.
Don't
every
even
week.
get mower thoughts like Bobo. It's pitiful.
I haven't had those in a while. Have y'all?
Ain't been able to mow, Bo.
Y'all don't have many trees. You got big trees. What about you?
yeah.
You got much going on?
It's still a pretty new lot.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing.
We
leaves.
used to rake them. We had a leaf wagon for a long time. We'd rake them onto the big tarp and then haul them back. Now we just mow them.
Yeah.
Now we just mow them.
Chop
Leaves
'em
are
up.
the worst, dude.
They are awful.
Yeah.
I think I counted. We have 38 trees on this property,
That's
so it's a lot, and it falls in waves. So you get leaf pickup season for about like 3 to 4 weeks.
I do love days like today where it's like kind of blustery, kind of breezy, and you can just like watch the leaves fall outside. I mean, you know,
They were rolling today.
it's a good leaf falling day.
If you don't believe, you get out there and you watch them leaves fall, and you tell me there ain't someone up here pouring his drinks.
I did get to enjoy a little bit of fall weather before the cold rolled in. We did an outdoor concert on Saturday night down
Nice.
in Nashville at Ascend Amphitheater. Great spot to check out a show. Addie, I know you are a lover of all things music, so
Sure.
you have to keep an eye out. What was the last concert you went to?
I don't know. It's been a bit. I can't even think. I don't know. Probably in. I went to the Kanye. I went to Yeezy. The
Wow.
Yeezy tour.
Oh, wow.
No, the Yeezus tour.
Oh,
When was that?
That's been a bit, dude.
Been about 10 years, probably?
so. Yeah.
Wow.
Probably so. Sad.
That is sad. Baba, what about you? Last concert? Have you been to a concert?
yeah. I used to be like into the concerts way back when. The most recent concert, me and my wife normally every year, I think we went last year, we'll go to the Ryman, and Dave Barnes, he's kind of like a little hip acoustic singer. I think he wrote a song for Blake Shelton. He's got a little Christmas get together that they do at
that's
the
fun.
Ryman, and most time we'll get a little box and take a little couple with us and do the whole Nashville.
There you
Nashville
go.
sucks also, just in case anybody needs to know.
We got a little taste of Broadway walking from where we parked our car down to Ascend, and I was like, and I'm good. It was about a
Yeah.
block of Broadway, and I was like, yeah, that'll do it. It's a Saturday
much.
night. Yeah. They got the road shut down. There's
Parking's
just
a nightmare.
Oh, it's awful. We paid $45 to park for like 5 hours, so
You
that
saw
was fun.
8 bachelorette parties.
No, I think we legit probably saw about 10 or 12.
Oh my God.
The sashes just give it away.
And everyone was cuter than the last.
No, everyone was drunker than the last.
They all look super miserable riding that pedal
That's
bar.
what I don't get that with
Yeah.
the pedal
I
cart,
agree.
man.
Go
Like,
sit
I don't
my
want to
butt
exercise and drink.
I want to float on a river or something.
Yeah, everyone looks like they're just prisoners. It looks like a prison bus.
Yeah, it doesn't seem fun.
It does not seem fun at all.
Have you ever done many of the river floats here? Any Drakes, Trammell?
Not
a good
here.
time.
I did one in San Antonio.
It'd be hard here to do it on like an inner tube. You kind of have to have like a kayak, some type
It
of
was fun.
self-propelled.
It was very fun.
Yeah.
I will say.
Throw your cooler in one, little 12-pack, nice icy cold water, keep it cool. Cold as the Rockies.
Cold as the Rockies. Cold as the Rockies outside, boys, but it's hot inside the Sode Shack. We got the Week 6 recap pod fresh off the presses for y'all. And we're going to hit all the games like we did last week. Seems like y'all like that format, so we're running it back for week 6 and presumably the rest of the season if y'all keep enjoying it. But, boys, if you needed another reminder as to why it's great to play IDP, saw an awesome tweet from Matt DeSorbo. He's at Data Visuals, and that's visuals with a Z on Twitter. This was describing the state of offensive fantasy football for this season. You ready for this? He said, something about football feels off, right? Sluggish. That's because the first 6 weeks of fantasy scoring are the lowest in 13 years, down 22% from last year. We're seeing it in the primetime games. There's a severe shortage of consistently high-powered offenses. But, boys, I don't know. I don't feel like we've been feeling the sting on the IDP side of things.
No, it's probably the opposite. It
Right?
feels, I mean, and I don't have the data to back it up or anything, but it definitely, we've touched on this in the show, it feels like guys are scoring more than they ever have.
Yes, I feel like we've had more 30 or 40-point games this season than we have in the past few seasons.
Absolutely. I feel like the D tackles are pretty deep, more than just your Aaron Donald. You've got Jeffrey Simmons. You've got a bunch of them producing. Safety has been kind of a weird spot, at least for me personally. I don't feel like I've had a safety that's been great. And then even when I've had like a Donovan Wilson, it's like, oh, well, here comes Jaron Curse. Linebackers have been fun. Edges have been fun. Yeah, it's been a good time so far. The linebackers are a little bit confusing. We'll get into it here this week, but some of the usages are a little wonky.
Yeah, LB's been a bit tough to figure out with
LB's always tough to figure
some
out.
underperformers, some injuries. Yeah, it's an odd time right now with the linebackers, but IDP in general has been a lot of fun. And I don't know if that's a pendulum, whereas like offense goes down, defense goes up type of thing. But yeah, that's why you play IDP, folks. You're not feeling the crunch too much when you've got a whole nother side of the ball that's been lights out so far. But boys, tonight's game still going on here on the TV. What's the time, Bobo? Adam.
It is fourth quarter. We got 8:20 left, and it is 16-13, and the Broncos are up. Broncos country.
Another barn burner with the Broncos. Actually got a touchdown this game, so that's more than they can say for the rest of their games.
Early on and nothing since.
Nothing since. Yeah, just 3 field goals and a touchdown.
Almost like a broken play downfield, wide open tight end. Come on.
It was, yeah. There was no coverage. Yeah. So it's like if Russell Wilson can't hit that, I'd be a little bit worried. But I pulled these numbers about 20, 30 minutes ago.
Let me update them for you.
Oh, please do.
So to start off, Baron Browning now has 3 tackles, 1 sack, 2 TFL, 1 interception, 1 fumble recovery, and 2 pass deflections.
Good Lord, Baron Browning.
And Big 3 scoring, he is right at 27.5 points.
Woo.
So that's a healthy.
He's heating up, boys. Yeah. I think he could be the breakout edge rusher of this season. Just an athletic freak, and he's been showing out.
Absolutely.
What did you have for Alex Singleton? Last I checked, I had him for about 13 and a quarter.
Alex Singleton. Let me see if he started him or not. No, he didn't. He is down here on his bench. I can't find him, Josh. You'll have to tell me what you got right now, and I'll look.
I got you. He's got 14.5 points right now, 12 tackles. So.
Wow.
Yeah, he's just a tackle monster. Yeah. That's what we knew when we plugged in, what was it John and I came up with? Porn Thor's stunt double.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Porn parody Thor's stunt double.
But I will say this is kind of credit to Adam, just because that linebacker position there in Denver is just it's a tackle producing
It's what you
position.
want. It's what you want.
We were hoping we had it with Josie Jewell. Unfortunately, he couldn't stay healthy, and now
at least didn't go on IR.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we'll get him back hopefully here pretty soon.
Yeah.
So
nice to see Justin Simmons back out there.
That's right.
Been out since week 1.
You know, the other shame to this game is that Denver's defense is really good for Russ to not be cooking right now. It does suck that Lavonte news. I really hate that for them, but Denver looks like they've got a really solid defense this year. They just got to get Russ figured out.
The offense is just not doing much for him. It's not helping him out.
Bradley Chubb's back. You know, I mean, he's been great this year.
Yep.
Yes, he has.
Surtain looks fun.
I wanted to, pull it up here. So, no, Big 3 scoring, Bobo. Baron Browning has 31 points.
Wow.
So, to be precise, 31.45 points. That's coming off 31.6 in week 1. And, yeah, Alex Singleton, like Addie mentioned there, is sitting at 13.25. And then let's look at the Chargers side. I know we had a big game already from Khalil Mack. and Derwin James. But let's get updated totals for y'all here. So, yeah, Derwin is up to, looks like about 20 points thus far. And Khalil Mack sitting at about 20 as well.
So, interesting little trade conversation I had. Just kind of interested to see y'all's Baron Browning pulse check right now as far as value. I was considering some type of Trayvon Walker for Baron Browning type of deal. Are y'all to that point yet? You think Baron Browning, is he going to jump Walker in your ranks, Adam, or you think you're still holding? Maybe you weren't ever high on Walker.
You know, I was actually probably too low, or I felt I was on Walker. And then I bumped him up quite a bit because he had a nice hot start and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Looked good in the offseason and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But he's kind of struggled.
He slowed down
since week 1.
Yes, he has.
Meanwhile, Baron Browning is looking like one of the best edge rushers in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, I'm probably not going to go ahead and, I don't think I'd do that deal straight up just because I don't know that the perception of both those players is the same.
I think you could get Baron Browning plus if you were the Trayvon Walker.
You could probably get Browning plus a third or Browning plus a second's a little steep, especially after tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Now's not the time.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's probably like the move you should – yeah, I think that's pretty wise. I mean,
The other thing, too, that Adam, I mean, Josh kind of knows if you've been kind of dabbling in any of the rosters in the listener league on RSO, but that true position gets weird real fast. I mean, all of a sudden you look up and then, honestly, the people that you're wanting to hold on to are the 3-down linebackers because, like we talked about in the last couple of weeks, it feels like you've got like 10 to 15 of them that you really care about, whereas you're looking on waivers and you're like, wow, Dorrance Armstrong's available. Oh, my gosh. Bradley Chubb's here. Like,
wow.
It just balances it out, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, linebacker, there were just too many players you weren't using when they're, Khalil Max and, Bosa and Daniil Hunter linebackers.
Yeah.
That's just
I have
stupid.
Von Miller and Khalil Mack, and I'm sitting there every week trying to figure out which of those to plug into my
That's
IDP
just dumb.
flex
I mean,
spot.
those are like the best players in the game. If you're not able to use those guys every single week, it's just kind of stupid.
Yeah, and then I have I had to plug in J.J. Watt, who's still a defensive end in RSO, along with Cam Jordan, and it was literally the rest of my backups. Kwity Paye out. I think Sam Williams was the only guy that may have been active for this past week, but it was like Jermaine Johnson out, like all my backups. So it's like, man, I have these two great true league guys that should be at defensive end just wasting away on the bench while I'm just hurting at actual defensive end.
Yeah, no good.
No good. But things that are good, the Week 6 recap. Let's get into it with a team that is not good. But we get them on Monday Night Football again next week. It's the Chicago Bears losing to the Mandos 12-7 there in Chicago. Boys, the game's brightest IDPs, Roquan Smith, Montez Sweat, shine bright during a putrid offensive showing, while Robert Quinn continues to sleepwalk, putting up 1.25 points on 63% of snaps. Not a lot surprised me here, Addy. Roquan Smith with 24. Jonathan Allen, 26.6. And Montez Sweat coming off that big Week 5 gives us 26.3 on just 68% of snaps. So a lot of what we expected from this game.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're playing against the Bears and Commanders, same. Anytime you're playing against those guys are on the field, I mean, you have to play those matchups. I mean, Bears and Commanders both give up the most, I think they're 1 and 2 in sacks allowed in the league. So, I mean.
And that probably may get better for the Mandos if they go Sam Howell.
Yeah, probably
because
so.
Wentz is out now with the broken
and that's
ring
been
finger.
a common theme with Wentz every stop of the way. He's always, and that's a lot of people will tell you that, and I agree. That's a quarterback stat, and it has followed Wentz everywhere he's been. So no different this year. But yeah, I mean, those are great matchups for anyone on the defensive line, any type of guy that's rushing the quarterback. Roquan Smith, baller game. Jaquan Brisker's been awesome this year.
100% of snaps, 15.55. That's great.
Eddie Jackson, that's one of his worst games of the year so far. He's been a revelation. Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat. Nice to see Montez Sweat have a nice game.
I mean, the defensive line there for Washington. You got F.A. Budda, 22.9.
That was someone I considered plugging in. Wish I would have. But, yeah, I mean, because I'm in a spot, same thing. Like, I have, I think I trotted out Gross-Matos and Roy Harris, whatever.
Dude, I saw him on waivers. Is this in the XFFL?
Yes.
Dude, I was looking and I was like, oh man, I'm hurting. Quiddy pays out.
Yeah, that was my starter this week.
Yeah, I was like, am I really gonna pick this guy up? I mean, it's bye week hell. You got injuries and just.
But Budda was out there, and if I would have been paying a little closer attention, I probably would have plugged him in, considering the matchup was so good. So I think if you're ever struggling, that's what you need to be focused on.
Poor Demario Davis now has 4 pass interference penalties tonight. Rookie cornerback, I think he's a 4th-round pick. Just getting demoralized out here by Herbert.
Is there no one else we can put out instead of Demario Davis? Please get this man off the field for his own sake. Let's talk about an upset, boys, that maybe you saw coming if you were a believer in Big Blue. Giants 24, Ravens 20. We love what we're seeing from Julian Love, but Dexter Lawrence 2. On the Ravens side, we might have been shoveling dirt on Patrick Queen, but he's not dead yet. 4 straight double-digit games. Julian Love topped the scores for the Giants, 21.95. Travis Jones, 17.6. While Patrick Queen was third with 16.75. Addy, I think we have to look at Julian Love as a top safety option moving forward.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the usage is fantastic. And he's producing. So, I mean, yeah, I think you can plug that guy in as pretty much a DB2 every week and feel pretty good about it. Another guy that's been extremely impressive, Dexter Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Looking like one of the best defensive tackles in the league right now. I think the grades bear that out as well. But he looks great. I've been able to pick him up in quite a few spots where, we only start one defensive tackle.
97% of snaps, so getting some run.
Yeah. Let me pull that up.
Bob. Kayvon Thibodeau has been showing up here, 13.55 points on 83% of snaps. Good to see Kayvon getting in the mix as well.
Yeah, Thibodeau is the guy, too, that you're starting to hear his name come up on the Normie pods. I think
right.
ATN, which is not a Normie pod. That's a
well, they're just regular NFL coverage.
Pretty awesome NFL podcast if you don't listen to them. But, yeah, they were even I think Rosenthal was talking up Kayvon last week and how well he's playing and how he is kind of shaping into form here as the season goes on. Pat Queen continues to show life in that group of 2020 linebackers that are still super questionable. Pat Queen now has 2.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and 1 INT on the season. 16.75 points last week. Man, Pat Queen is a guy that I'm kind of targeting right now. I think he's playing better. I think the public perception right now of him is still pretty low. Like, I think, maybe a 3rd or a 4th you could probably get Queen, and I still like Queen for the foreseeable future.
Top 10 in points per game.
Yep.
I was going to say, look at the log. 18, 5.75, 20.45, 14.75, 18.85, and 16.75.
That's among linebackers, I should say. But still, that's amazing.
The other thing, too, that I was thinking about is, some of these linebackers, they kind of push and pull both ways from the standpoint of when they play bad, but they were highly drafted, they're a 1st, 2nd-round draft pick. There's always that stigma that goes around with them of they're playing bad, but what if they figure it out, you know?
They're highly drafted. The team's not going to give up on them.
But I feel like there's also the other to where it's like, man, Pat Queen's playing well. I hope it stays that way and he doesn't turn into 2021 Pat Queen, So I feel like that's kind of the sales tactic of like, man, I hope he can keep it up.
Looking at the PFF grades for Pat Queen, 2020, 29.7 overall PFF grade, 2021, 43.5 overall PFF grade, 2022, 59.3.
So he is going the right direction.
You'd like to see that.
Yeah, that's good.
I did also want to mention about Dexter Lawrence. He is 4th in pressures among all defensive tackles.
He's good, man. Yeah. He just continues to ball out for this Giants defense that's well coached. You wonder how this talent-poor team is sitting at 5-1. It's because they're really well coached, and this defense is playing above its head and helping to compensate for an offense that has, I think, literally 0 wide receivers that most casual NFL fans would recognize.
Yeah, both teams, really, Chicago or the Giants. both of them pretty rough.
Yeah.
On the wide receiving core. A guy that I wanted to touch on the Commanders as well, who kind of reminded me of Jaquan Brisker. Cam Curl continues to have great PFF grades, 89.8. He actually had a sack last week, which reminded me of Jaquan Brisker having a sack last week also. So you love to see those safeties in the box when they can get home and get a sack. That man, that's a great thing for your for the DBs, because I feel like DBs this year for me has been like, man, it's been tough. That's my position. That's my DN position. I've been rolling out like Justin Reed and McKinney, and just thinking like it's gonna come around. It's gonna come around. And I'm less optimistic about Justin Reed. I'm more optimistic about McKinney. I think he's been playing better, but it's been weird. DB's been weird for me this year. Donovan Wilson was fine, and then here comes everybody else.
Here comes the three-headed dragon in Dallas. Literally, I think all those safeties played like 80% of snaps this week. So it's a nightmare. But let's move to what could have been a nightmare for Colts fans and was not. Colts win 34-27 over the Jags. Boys, we thought the Jags IDPs would feast on Matt Ryan, but it was actually the Colts off defensive line that came alive against Trevor Lawrence. What a twist for the Colts. Tyquan Lewis, DeForest Buckner, and Grover Stewart were three of the top 5 scorers, with the 2 linebackers, Bobby Okereke and Zaire Franklin, both being above 14 points. And then on the Jaguars side, you had Foyce Oluokun in the mix, with a few other guys that you may have started. But Addy, the story of this game was absolutely the Colts defensive line getting home and heating up against Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, and I mean they're banged up, so that you love to see that.
That's right, Quiddy Pay out.
Yeah. For me though, the main storyline is still the Zaire Franklin and Okereke thing.
Yeah.
I mean, and also another thing that I noticed this week, Mr. Franklin is wearing that captain patch.
Oh, okay.
Did not.
Okay, so this is an interesting conversation. If you haven't yet checked out our IDP short from this week, we synced up with Jake Colhagen, who's a IDP contributor, good friend of the show for Reality Sports Online, and his Dynasty buy. Because I was like, all right, run me through the candidates. Let's figure out who we want to talk about. Zaire Franklin was his pick. And I was like, oh, boy, okay, make the case here. He's like, well, he's playing 100% of snaps for the season.
Yeah.
Did not realize that.
Yeah.
He's graded okay, but scored pretty well. And here was the kicker. And I realized this when I went to possibly extend Okereke in RSO. I was like, well, let me look up his Colts contract. He's expiring.
Yeah.
So there's a chance that Okereke is on a new team.
Oh, he's gone.
And that was his pitch, was like, I think the world we're moving into in 2023 is Zaire Franklin and Shaq Leonard as the 2 linebackers there, getting close to 100% of the snaps.
Yeah, I like that call a lot.
And Zaire Franklin's on a team-friendly rookie contract.
Zaire Franklin is tied with Roquan Smith for the league in tackles with 66.
Yeah, he's been great, man.
PFF grade last week of 71.9.
Yeah.
Bobby O actually had a good week as well, 74.4.
Yeah, Bobby O's been good. I think both of these linebacker spots, it's what we expected. We just didn't know it would be Zaire Franklin. So when Shaq Leonard comes back, I think it may be Bobby O headed to the bench, man.
Because
they have not taken Franklin off the field.
Connie could speak to this probably a little bit better, but the Colts have some pretty healthy defensive contracts also.
They do.
You're paying Leonard
Shaq
quite a
Leonard,
bit. You're paying
DeForest
Buckner.
Yannick Ngakoue is not cheap.
That's true. So that's a great call. Wow. That's spicy.
Love it. So go check it out and give our boy Jake a follow. He did an awesome job on his IDP Shorts debut. Awesome job not done. Yannick Ngakoue, 0 points. Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen were quiet. 5.5 for Walker and 3.25 for Josh Allen.
Kenny Moore. Jesus.
Yeah, 2 points on 100% of snaps.
He's having a really tough year.
Yeah.
Worst year of his career.
Which
Yes, it
is
is.
opposite to what we thought with the whole Kari Willis retirement.
Yeah, I know.
We thought it might, and it's a different position, but we thought we might ramp up the tackles quite a bit. It's been bizarre.
Well, and that was another point that it didn't make it the video, but that Jake brought up was like, okay, Matt Eberflus, who made Kenny Moore into this defensive and IDP stud, is now in Chicago, and look who's bursting onto the scene there, Kyler Gordon.
Yep.
So it's like, did Eberflus leave and take the magic, that kind of the secret sauce that Kenny Moore?
Definitely could have been a scheme thing there.
So it's an interesting thing to watch rest of season. Boys, I'm loving this Patriots Zappy fever. Watching the whole country kind of catch on. I think part of it is he has a fun name.
Yeah.
So everyone loves saying, Bailey Zappi. It's fun.
Josh Raymer, it's like, he's fine.
Yeah, it's like whatever. Even
I hate him.
even Mike White, they had to turn it into Mickey Blanco. They had to spice up what was a pretty standard name. But
What would
Bailey
yours
Zappi's
be?
fun.
You're the up and coming quarterback.
White Lightning.
What would your
White Lightning. I would
okay.
just legally change my name to White Lightning.
What about you, Addy? What would yours be? Hashtag
The boy.
Da boy. Da boy. Just listen to the old white announcers trip right over that name.
Sure.
But Patriots took care of the Browns 38-15. While we're waiting for that shakeup in the Browns linebacker rotation, Myles Garrett reminded us that he's a top IDP. Kyle Duggar also put up big points for the second game in a row, but beware, he's averaged 65.9% of snaps. The last 2 weeks, Christian Barmore was banged up in this game. Knee injury did not return. Severity unknown. Bobo, it was good to see Myles Garrett back in the mix with 28 points for Week 6.
Absolutely. Adam's boy, the tranquilizer over here getting the Russell Wilson for the sack. Man, tough one. I don't even remember your question, Josh. Sorry, I was...
Myles Garrett, back.
Yeah, Garrett's fine.
Garrett's fine.
He flipped his car. He's uber athletic.
I'm going to turn this TV off, Bobby.
He's no, please don't. There's only a minute and 54 left. But yeah, Garrett's really good. I mean, he is what we drafted him for. I disagree with Aaron. So Aaron, strike one. While we await the shakeup of the Browns,
I wrote that. I wrote the headline. You're
Well,
disagreeing with me.
You are treading on thin ice, Buster. We have already seen a shakeup to the Browns LB rotation. Our boy Sione Taki now is apparently the LB1 ahead of Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Jacob Phillips still played 100% of snaps.
I'm sorry. You're right. I'm completely forgetting about
But
Phillips.
what is Taki doing here?
Yeah.
So now
You and I got in a bidding war in RSO over Taki.
Yeah, that's right.
So now enter Deion
Deion
Jones.
Jones. Yeah, what does this do?
Does this move JOK to the
Fourth?
LB4 off of the bench? And I don't know. This is going to be a mess.
It's a mess.
About the worst thing that could have happened before Deion Jones comes back. You know?
yeah.
Just make it
Yeah.
even more
Here's
weird.
another grenade for
Yeah.
you IDP folks out there. Try to figure that one
Yeah,
out.
but was JOK banged up or anything? Is this just
Fine.
that's not
That's
great.
not great. Yeah. Not what we want to see. Addy, are you
And they
trusting?
got their asses whipped.
They did. Yes, they did. So they'll be bringing Deion Jones in, I think, here pretty quick because they got run
Ramondre.
all over
That's
again.
2 weeks in a row, man.
Yeah,
Eckler
so
and then Ramondre.
got to get
Because
him
you
in
didn't
there.
play JOK. All right.
We'll see.
We played him
We'll
last
see,
week.
Bobo. What do we think of Kyle Duggar, Addy? Are you? I know we typically stay away from Patriots IDPs, but it's a couple nice weeks in a row for Duggar.
Yeah, I mean, I think, he was banged up to start the year, so I think, we can expect if he's getting 75% of the snaps, I'm totally fine with that, man. I'd rather have 75% of Kyle Duggar than 100% of Rodney McLeod.
Yeah, that's true.
Just a random name. You can't always just be like, well, I just want the 100%. There are some guys that do more with less, and with the usage Duggar gets, and the box snaps, it's he's still a solid safety too, I think.
Yep.
There you go. All right, Bengals went into the Superdome. We saw Joe Burrow wearing Jamar Chase's LSU jersey. That was swaggy as hell. I don't know if Joe Burrow was a little older, if he could have pulled that off, but as a young man in his early 20s, I think that was a good look. And he played well. Jamar Chase got back in the box score in a big way, and so did Double H, Sam Hubbard, Trey Hendrickson. That's why you keep starting these guys. Had solid performances for the Bengals. Bengals win 30-26 against the Saints. And you don't take out Double D, Demario Davis, out of your lineup, even when he put up 3.25 points last week, because he can go and put up 31.95. We expected, not this kind of game, but Bobo, Demario Davis has just been a fixture in our lineups now for a very long time. You love to see a boom game from Double D.
We weren't sure, too, what was going to happen with this Saints team going into 2022. And we've kind of talked about just sell everything. Sell Kamara, sell Cameron Jordan, not even in IDP, but actually in the NFL. Like, what are y'all doing? Get rid of a bunch of these older players. Demario Davis was kind of the same also. I could see Demario Davis being like a Bobby Wagner and going to the Rams, who at that point thought they were a competing team. But, Yeah, man, Demario Davis just continues to be what he's always been. Just a solid LB1 for you.
Yep.
There's no denying if you get a picture of an LB1 in old Webster's dictionary, Demario Davis sitting there grinning at you.
You have a dictionary in your house, right?
I sure do. Got the whole encyclopedia.
I was going to say, we used to have the entire encyclopedia set.
Y'all remember those days?
Oh, yeah.
Writing
Oh, yeah.
papers and being like, well, I got to go look up
Yeah.
what precipitation is. And
Let me look up dinosaurs in the D encyclopedia.
Sure.
So always fun.
Is your boy into dinosaurs right now?
Oh, hardcore.
So that's the phase I have to look forward to here in a couple years, right? Is dinosaurs.
We're dinosaurs and monster trucks.
Oh, yeah.
We went monster trucks, police cars. We are all in dinosaurs.
All
Let's
into
go.
dinosaurs.
I thought about the other
dinosaurs
day-
are awesome.
We need to make a little trip up to
Dinosaur World?
There you go.
No.
Sorry.
No, we do not.
Do you know I
It's the
couldn't
biggest scam on earth.
I couldn't come up with it because I was thinking, how could we also tie in a little Park Mammoth?
I was going to say,
trip
yeah,
as
if
well?
you justify it with Park Mammoth, that's
just skip the
fine.
dinosaur
So it's a
part.
horrible
Yeah,
scam.
Let's just go straight
Oh my
there.
god, dude! It's walking on trails
Okay,
through. It's like a little mile trail
like Josh
through the woods, and it's these statues of dinosaurs, and it also costs like $15 to just do the walk.
Oh,
my
wow.
God.
So you do the walk.
I don't even know if I want to do that for free.
It takes 30 minutes. Then you go through a gift shop where everything is overpriced, and these are like seriously like toys that probably cost like $5.99. They're selling them for like $59.99.
Oh, my God.
One of the
a
coolest,
nightmare.
one of
It's
the
a
coolest
ni-
things
that's
we've done
truly a
lately.
nightmare.
It's not necessarily dinosaur, but he loves sharks too. We went to the aquarium restaurant in Nashville.
Oh, yeah?
Highly recommended. Like the food is okay, but like the aquarium is awesome.
I walked past it there in Opry Mills. It looks pretty dope.
Oh yeah, it's enormous.
How about Rainforest Cafe?
Oh, yeah. I love me a Rainforest Cafe. Haven't been to one in a while.
Y'all should
but,
do that out there if you ain't.
It's very sad. If you want to be sad, go to Rainforest Cafe.
This is what we
They're
said.
not real animals, Josh.
It's real tears you're crying when you get that bill at the end of your meal.
That's true.
If you're a Logan Wilson owner or manager, sorry,
There you
boys,
go.
almost
Cancel.
got us canceled.
Cancel
Cancel
me.
me, please, God. Sweet release of death. Day-to-day currently with a shoulder injury update expected on Wednesday for Logan Wilson. So
So it could, this could boost Jermaine Pratt. Could boost
Akeem Davis Gaither.
there you go, Akeem Davis Gaither.
ADG.
I thought about that
ADG.
the other day too. Jermaine Pratt is kind of what you were saying with Kyle Duggar in
Yeah,
that
exactly.
he's the same type of guy. This is just what he does. He racks up tackles on 81% of snaps.
You need a safe 8 to 10 tackles and probably not much else. That's your fella.
We also told you
go.
last week that Hubbard and Hendrickson were going to get it going here as they have a pretty miserable stretch of games here the next 4 weeks. They play some pretty trash teams. So
And they're getting the snaps, as we saw. 76% for Hendrickson, 97% for Hubbard. So just keep plugging these guys in.
which of those guys would you rather have?
Probably
Dynasty.
probably Hendrickson.
I feel like Hendrickson is the guy that people value more.
For
but,
sacks.
But honestly, probably,
Hubbard gets
Hubbard's
the snaps.
safer.
if you're talking about like startup, yeah, I'll take Hubbard all day.
His ADP be lower.
Much lower, and he's got the consistency week to week with the tackles. Like Hendrickson just does not get tackles.
Yeah,
You don't
it's-
get the sacks, you're not gonna have a fun week with him.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Marcus Davenport 2 points this week.
Yep.
But the PFF stuff looks fine. It looks pretty solid. He's got a 76.0.
Jettison that ass into space.
He's out.
Let him go eat donuts in peace.
Pressures are fine. Just saying.
Marcus Cameron Jordan disappointed as well. 3.75 points.
It was a
down
disappointing
week
week
for a lot of the Saints IDPs. Outside of Demario Davis, it was Caden Ellis, Chris Harris, Andrew Dow, and Paulson Adebo. Were you starting any of those guys?
Yeah.
No. So Pete Warner, Cameron Jordan, the Honey Badger, and Marcus Davenport all under 8 points.
3.25 points for Von Bell, who's like the safety 3, I think, on the year right now in Big 3 scoring. So that's kind of weird.
Yeah, Logan Wilson, Jesse Bates, and Von Bell all disappointed for the Bengals as well. So you had a few bright spots. There's just certain games where the big name IDPs just crap the bed.
Jesse Bates has been terrible this year.
Yeah.
Like not even probably shouldn't even be a consideration for you, which is wild.
What a world.
Yeah.
I have seen a lot of questions here lately like, hey, are you dropping so-and-so in redraft? And it's that time of year to where we kind of know what we know by week 6. Not a whole lot of stuff is going to change, in my opinion. But anyways.
All right. Buccaneers, Steelers. Tom Brady losing his mind on the sideline. That was fun, watching him just literally chew his O-line, a collective group of new a-holes, despite the fact that he was out partying Friday at Robert Kraft's wedding.
Look, I did it, Josh.
There you go. Good job, Bobo. Very proud of you.
You can't even see it.
And then traveled by himself to the game, missed some walkthroughs or practices on Saturday, and he's just a bad person now, Addy.
I saw the tweet.
His life is in shambles.
I seen the tweet.
I saw the Robert Kraft
Old
tweet
Robert
today
Quack.
that he got him another ring this weekend. So
There you go. Congrats to
Oh,
that
did
villain
he?
there. You feel so good for him.
It's so good.
Yeah, Buccaneers.
Hershey's a doctor.
18, Steelers 20. She is a doctor. On a day that Trubisky led the
We'll leave it
Steelers
there.
to an upset win, the IDPs for the Bucs, they did not upset you with their performances unless you wanted 30-plus points from Devin White, who only got you 11.5.
Mm-hmm.
But Winfield Jr., 20.45. Lavonte Davis, 16.25.
Was Winfield in your lineup this week?
He
Ralphie?
absolutely was.
Absolutely.
Good.
He's not leaving the lineup. I need
Good.
less complexity.
Sure.
So Winfield Jr. can just park his ass right in that lineup and stay there, boys.
He's such a baller,
Yeah.
dude.
He really is.
Even though he's, I guess, maybe people think he's been down a little bit this year. I mean, he's had 4 games over 15 points, and he's had 2 of those were 31.4 and 20.45.
He's kind of too much of a gamer to leave your lineup.
Yeah.
He's a little drippy.
The peace sign should have been
Yeah.
a ticket to never leaving your lineup.
Yep.
That
for
was
sure.
Just too much
all-time.
swag.
But yeah, he's just, the upside is just too great with him every week, and I mean, it's been consistent. We've seen it since he came into the league. So I mean, he's telling you what he is.
Yeah.
Lavonte David, we used to have some name for him. I don't even remember now what it was.
Discount something.
I don't remember. That was
I don't either.
Discount like Martinez, I think.
No, yeah, that was it. Did we put that on a T-shirt yet?
I think so.
We should. Steelers, you had some nice performances there. Alex Highsmith and Cam Hayward both scored higher than 15. Terrell Edmonds was really the only safety that was there with Minka Fitzpatrick on the shelf for this game. Myles Jack, 13 points. And Larry Ogunjobi, 12.25. So some pretty, solid performances. Nothing to really blow you away, Bobo. But I think if you started your Steelers and your Bucks for the most part, you were pretty happy.
Yeah, very
Minus Shaq Barrett.
very decent week. I thought that today in RSO, I was looking at my live scoring, and I didn't really have anybody that just went off. I just had a bunch of 10 to 15 point players and gonna get the dub, and you just move on. It's just sometimes that's just what it is in IDP. You go and you get your 13.5 points from Terrell Edmonds. You thank your lucky stars, and you go to bed.
That's right.
Get off Twitter.
Just always thank your lucky stars before you go to bed, Bobo.
It's a blessing.
Yeah.
And if you're a Falcons fan, are you thanking your lucky stars for the wins that you're racking up? Who knows?
We're only worried about Kyle Pitts and his catches.
I was going to say, or you're worried about the fact that you may be playing yourself out of a nice draft pick to go get one of these young QBs.
That's true.
Because you got your quarterback thrown about 13 times a game because he's essentially a game manager with some really good mobility. But hey, it's working over a compromised 49ers team. Falcons get the win 28-14.
Bad loss for the Niners.
Yeah. But imagine the grin on Adam's face. Actually, you don't have to imagine. I'll just put the camera on him right here. There you go. When he saw the output from Troy Anderson. We got to get off that camera. Jesus, that scares me. Now imagine Fred Warner doing the Will Smith empty room gif as he looks around this decimated 49ers defense. Fred Warner, 11.5 points, but his fellow high scorers, Charles Omenihu, Samson Ebukam, Drake Jackson, Tayshaun Gibson. Not exactly a murderer's row that you would expect. I think Talanoa Hufanga got banged up in this game. At some point was being evaluated for a concussion. Dre Greenlaw, only 6.5 points on 100% of snaps. And then on the Falcons side, not much to write home about. Rashawn Evans continues to impress. But Troy Anderson there adding 100% of snaps, 13.25 points. Speak on it. This is an exciting day.
Yeah, this is amazing. I mean, this is exactly what we wanted to see. Him get out there, get opportunity, and be productive with that time. And 12 tackles. I mean, the grades weren't great. He was in the 40s, but again, it's his first start. So, and this guy did just convert to linebacker.
Let's just give him some time, guys.
Give him some time, but I mean, he's out there. He's playing. I mean, this is fantastic. One thing I will say, Rashaan Evans looks pretty good. I got to see a little bit of that game yesterday. He was making an impact every time I saw him on the screen. So he's someone that I'm curious if he has much staying power after this year. I mean, I know that I'm not sure. We need to check out Michael Walker's to get confirmation on that contract. I'll check that out.
Yeah, I was going to say, Rashaan Evans, talk about a player, Bobo, that just needs to wash the stank off, especially with IDP managers. And hell, the Tennessee Titans. I mean, this was a first-round pick. I don't even think they picked up his fifth-year option. They were so ready to get this guy out of the building. And much like Marcus Mariota, former Titan there as well, resurrected his career a little bit in Atlanta.
Now, listen, y'all always made fun of me, but I always kind of liked Rashaan Evans when he was on the Titans. You were more a Jayon Brown guy, but I thought Rashaan Evans, he showed out at times. He wasn't always that solid. But, yeah, I don't try to tell you last week, but your Michael Walker window may be closing as far as a sell window.
I did sell Michael Walker recently.
For Eric Kendricks. Super solid. That's great.
That was a nice trade.
The reason why was because Michael Walker, he was on a 1-year deal. He was going to have to be extended. He was going to be a lot, too, because he's playing so well. But I have Eric Kendricks for another 2 years.
And we knew Troy Anderson was coming at some point.
Yeah.
And also, so keep that in mind. I mean, yeah, we know Eric Kendricks is 30 years old, but I mean, it don't matter. Look at Demario Davis; he's 33. That's the type of career that we're looking for Kendricks. Lavonte David, again, those are great linebackers. That's what happens; they age very well.
That has been the funnest roster for me this year. Is rolling out Jordan Hicks and Eric Kendricks in a league, and just racking them up,
feeling good about it.
There's certain teams,
almost a nice little hedge too.
Yeah,
one of them's going to do
one
well.
of them have been bad. It's like
both LB2s.
Both are going to get 10 points
at least.
Agreed.
So, boys, another big upset.
We may keeping have Josh's Asamoah on the bench. Woo, that was a good one.
Keep his Asamoah on the bench.
I love that.
Hey,
also hungry for Samoa.
Yeah.
What are those?
I was glad you went with the back part of that, not the front part.
Expecting the coconut dream.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I shouldn't have.
Should have got our hopes up.
My mom says Aldi has some good ones.
Really? I hear Aldi has some good stuff.
Yeah, Aldi's decent.
Some fresh.
I'm not a regular,
veggies,
but
some fruits.
Get there from time to
What's
time.
up with having to pay for a card? What's up with that Aldi's? 25 cents? Come on.
You got to start looking around these days. I went to IGA, I think, this weekend to get just like I don't know how much bacon. It's just a slab of bacon just for our family. And it was like.
Oh, it's outrageous.
It was
$10.
Oh, it was like $11.99. I was like, well. Not doing this weekend. It's a principle.
No more bacon.
We're done. I just shot a pig.
This has been grocery talk from the IDP show.
Threw him in the back.
I was looking at the injuries. AJ Terrell, thigh injury, day-to-day. Update, boys. Very important update. Charvarius Ward now wants to be called Mooney Ward.
Wow.
Did y'all see this?
No.
Yeah, so Mooney Ward, groin injury week to week.
Okay.
Man.
What do we think about the name? NFL players are kind of starting. It's coming into vogue, changing the name a little bit.
Do we have any backstory on what the Mooney's about?
I don't know. I just heard this on the Around the NFL podcast, and I was like, note to self.
I don't need any. I'm in.
Big
I'm in.
Darnell
I
fan.
like it. I like Charvarius, though. That's a nice name as
It's a good
well.
name.
Yeah.
There's no Mooney, though.
Mooney's. That's true. Mooney Ward.
One extra O away from money.
Do you guys have a...
Good one, Bobo.
I think it's one less so.
No, he's got one extra. Moo.
It has to be your boy.
Anyway. What kind of bacon brand you guys like?
I'm a Smithfield guy.
Oh, wow.
I like the Smithfield with the pepper in it.
That's a bad take.
Spicy. What do you like?
Oscar Mayer's pretty hard to beat.
That's the worst take of this podcast.
There's a reason why it's the most
history
expensive.
of this
There's a
pod.
reason why it's the most
I
expensive.
just
You're
buy
probably
whatever
one-
looks good at the grocery.
You probably do the microwave bacon, don't you?
No.
How dare you?
You got microwave
you thought you
bacon.
had me,
You got microwave bacon written all over you.
Bacon stands, Macri, support get my back here, bud.
Macri.
I will
Macri's
say,
throwing up right now.
I do my bacon like really weird. I throw it in just like it's like a soup pot. I just like throw it all in there and just let it sit, and it gets like super crispy. I don't know how y'all like your bacon. You might like it gummy. You
like
wouldn't
it
like
chewy.
it this way.
Nah, I don't
You like your bacon chewy?
I don't like it like, kind of like limp, uncooked. I don't like it super crispy. I like it
it's
chewy.
in the middle.
Yeah, in the
Do
middle.
you like if you go to a fancy restaurant and you get a board, a lot of times they'll put prosciutto.
Mhm.
You like prosciutto?
Prosciutto's fine.
You like country ham?
Not really. Too
Hell
salty.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, country ham's good.
Drives me out.
Country ham biscuit.
My lips are chapped for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
This is breakfast talk. This is what the listeners, this is what they pay good money for.
It's breakfast time.
That's right. But we may have to recalibrate our expectations for both the teams in this next game. Jets get the 27-10 victory over the hapless Green Bay Packers. Bless you. Thank you, Quinnen Williams. Sheesh. What a performance. Welcome back, Quincy Williams.
Our defensive tackle discussion was pretty good
Right?
recently, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
I mean, do we agree? Is Quinnen Williams, where is he now?
I think he's
He's one or two.
I think you have. Here's your top
two.
five.
I think it's Jeffrey Simmons.
Jeffrey Simmons
one.
still?
Yeah.
Simmons for me, in any order. Simmons, Quinnen Williams, AD is still in there. Now Buckner is kind of hanging around also.
Yeah.
For me, I still
That's
like
Dynasty, yeah.
I still like Christian Wilkins just because Wilkins has a nice like tackle floor.
Someone
Wilkins
who's-
is probably 5.
And someone who's being disrespected, Jonathan Allen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Dexter
Yeah.
Lawrence. I mean, how
Dexter
old is Lawrence? Should
They're
Lawrence
both
be
young.
in there?
They're both young.
Also, watching the Eagles last night made me realize how crazy Jordan Davis is.
He's going to be good.
He might not be like a huge like IDP,
IDP.
producer, but in the NFL, dear goodness.
Yeah.
Quinnen Williams or Buckner?
Quinnen Williams.
Quinnen Williams.
Quinnen Williams is 24.
Quinnen Williams or Jeffrey Simmons? Is that y'all's?
Simmons is
one.
25.
Simmons is one. For
Simmons
me.
is 25. Quinnen Williams is 24.
Okay, so Simmons is one for you.
Simmons is one.
Is it close at
They're
all?
a toss-up.
Oh
dude.
yeah, it's very close.
It's a toss-up
Yeah,
for me.
I would not argue with anyone who wants to put Quinnen one.
I mean, right now, Quinnen Williams is looking more consistent
Mm-hmm.
as
That's
far
true.
as the production.
That's true.
But yeah, something about Simmons just feels like there's, I don't know.
Yep.
I
Just
saw.
take a look at him.
I think they have. I don't know if it was up on the side of the stadium. Which, by the way, Titans announced they're
Yeah.
building a new dome stadium there.
How about that? It's pretty cool.
That was interesting.
That place is a dump. They
yeah,
definitely
They just need
needed
to
that.
bulldoze that old stadium into the river.
Are they gonna put it in the same spot?
They're going to put it in a new area.
Green Hills.
It's like the East End development. This is going to be
Yeah.
like the cornerstone of this new area they're developing down by the river. So,
yeah, still by the river.
yep, down by the river.
Strike.
But Quinnen Williams, yeah, 30.
Y'all remember going to that game? What a fun time that
was
It
was.
was a
fun.
blast.
2019.
So fun.
Jeffrey Simmons, I think, had a sack that game. Adam has the best video ever of me watching Sammy Watkins drop a crossing
right.
route.
After Bobby put him in his lineup
Oh, that was
15 minutes
great fun.
before.
Yeah, just
Sorry, Josh.
all up
I'm
in his
taking you off
emotions.
the rails.
No, that's good.
Back on.
I was just saying, Quinnen Williams, 38.75 points,
Mm-hmm.
went absolutely nuclear, top IDP scorer on the week. Baron Browning, I don't think is going to unseat him. This game's gone into overtime now, so we'll see. But I think Quinnen Williams, he was our thumbnail for the IDP rewind that went out for week 6. So congrats to Quinnen Williams. Welcome
Second
back to
in
Quincy.
pressures. Second in pressures for Quinnen Williams.
There we go.
About all defensive tackles.
Oh, nice. Who's won again?
One is Chris Jones, and
been
Aaron
good.
Donald are both tied for first.
Yeah, Chris Jones is another one that needs to
Oh
be in
my
the conversation
gosh,
as well.
That is a nasty catch. Mike Williams on the sideline with 7 minutes left in overtime. Pretty sexy toe tap. Sorry.
Rashawn Gary back as well, 18.7 points.
Josh told him not to take him out of your
Don't take
lineup.
Rashawn Gary out of your lineups,
it's
people.
stupid.
What are we doing? But yeah, the rest of the Packers IDPs, not that great. I mean, Devondre Campbell was 5th with 8 points on 100% of snaps, but Savage, Quay Walker, Preston Smith all scored less than 8. On the Jets side, it was pretty nice. Quinnen led the way there at number 1, but you also had C.J. Mosley, John Franklin Myers, Quincy Williams, Sheldon Rankins. So not a lot of players that you probably would have been plugging in that disappointed, unless you were starting Quan Alexander, which you shouldn't have. 27% of snaps, only 4.75 points. And then Carl Lawson, 1.5 points on 74% of snaps.
I didn't get a chance to watch much of this game, but our friend of the show, Nate Tice, said he was very impressed with Quincy Williams. So
Yes, I saw that as well.
So you love to see that. I mean, that's one of those guys that we trust his evaluation of football players, and the fact that he was impressed by him. Like to see that. And, you love to see the 81% for Quincy Williams. Back to the bench for Quan Alexander, 27%. So
Yep. Welcome back, Quincy.
That's good
See
news
you later,
for Quincy
Quan.
because that was what we were worried about all,
great news.
all
Yes.
season.
great news. Gets the snaps back and also, people that we respect say he looks good out there. So it's good stuff.
Anytime, that's always the kind of litmus test for me, are the normie pods, the non-IDP, non-fantasy pods.
And Quincy's hella productive, man. I mean, he's a solid LB2 for you every week.
You just love seeing the bros there.
Didn't he have a filthy tackle on Aaron Jones this week? I think there's a pretty vicious little tape of him just spearing him. Hey, Josh, what's wrong with the Packers?
I was just literally about to ask you the same question. I did see today where Aaron Rodgers' response was, we need to simplify things.
Yeah.
And then Matt LaFleur says, I don't know what that means. So I think I think that Aaron Rodgers is pissed. I think LaFleur is doing his level best to keep his quarterback, who the news broke this weekend as well, that Rodgers is almost certainly retiring after this season. So
wow.
Yeah. Did y'all see this?
No.
Yeah. So I think LaFleur is doing his best to keep this guy happy, but I just think that a lot like the Colts didn't stock the pantry with pass catchers, the Packers didn't do the same to replace Davante Adams, and that offense just sucks. It's just devoid of passing talent.
Lazard is not good. Now Randall Cobb is hurt. Christian Watson has a hamstring.
None of them are just ready.
Dobbs is fun, but that's a pretty intricate
All wide
offense
receiver
to learn.
3s and 4s and 5s asked to be the one.
And
Randall Cobb is your best option? What are we doing here?
Yeah, the fact that I heard a little bit of that today, not about the retirement, but the fact that Aaron Rodgers was bummed about Cobby, is that as he calls him,
Cobby
going out.
Weird.
It should show your.
Don't like that.
Probably Cobb's retiring after this year also.
He may just go to the hospital and fill out the retirement papers right there.
That kind of seems like a Rodgers. That's how Rodgers is going to go out. He's going to go out on a.
He's going to go into the desert.
6 and whatever season. 6 and 10. 6 and I don't know how many games.
He'll disappear like week 14 if they've got a losing record, and we'll just never hear from him again.
So he's going to retire.
That's the tweet I saw.
Did he not just re-up the contract a little bit?
But I think that was more of a kind of bookkeeping type of contract.
Isn't he hurt? Doesn't he have something broken?
They said he kept shaking out his hand.
Yeah.
So I think he may have a hand injury. So
we're seeing that more and more often, I feel like. Carson Wentz, broken thumb. Russ had the mallet finger last year.
Ring finger.
Really?
How much is Aaron Rodgers going to be on the internet and on TV?
Too much. Way too much.
He's going to be out there a lot.
He's going to be try to go the Pat McAfee route, and we're all going to like him a lot less when he does that.
I don't know. I think I don't think Rodgers is that bad. Honestly.
I think he's one of the most insufferable NFL players I think I've ever seen.
Do you like Pat McAfee's show?
I think it's fine. It's just not for me.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I think the
like
Barstool
Pat,
crowd
no.
likes the Pat. I think there's a lot of crossover there.
I'm kind of with you. I can tolerate Rodgers.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you see the Caleb Presley interview?
Yes.
Caleb Presley. That's the best thing Barstool's ever done.
Yeah. The dude sitting there just eating a sundae. The Sunday conversation.
That's the best. And I mean, Rodgers is funny. He's got a good sense of humor. He's I know that he can be a little annoying politically and stuff, and that all that stuff. But
he thinks he is Captain Cool, and that just rubs me away. It was Michael Balco at Michael Balco Jr. on Twitter. I've spoken to some people within the Packers organization. They told me that QB Aaron Rodgers has made it clear that he plans to retire following the season.
I could kind of see that.
This guy is verified. It's not like just some rando.
It seems like everything that we've kind of seen has pointed to that here in the last year or so,
I kind of expect that. I mean, they had to drag him back into the fold this year.
Why did he come back this year?
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't. Money, I guess.
Prove it. Oh, I don't need Lavonte. I'll be all right. Relax. Everybody relax.
I don't know, man. I feel like that would have been a motivation to get the hell out of there.
Yeah. You should have seen this coming. It's not going well. Well, I mean, you don't have any talent. You don't have any.
Yeah, that offense is
not good.
Look at the wide receivers, man.
Hey, Romeo Dobbs, all right.
Oh yeah, they'll be fine. You don't want him as your wide receiver 1.
We like him in 2024, 2025.
Sure.
Not right now. All right, Eddie, let's talk about your team, and why don't you take us through
I hate both of you.
The Minnesota Vikings victory over the Dolphins.
Yeah, it was a good victory. It was a great victory.
24-16.
What are y'all now? 5-1?
5-1.
Let's go.
Looking at some of the big games for the Dolphins. Landon Roberts, that was a surprise. 22.25 points, played 75% of the snaps. So, I mean, don't get don't get crazy or carried away thinking this is going to be the guy that's going to save the rest of your season.
Yeah, don't get fired up about Raekwon Davis.
Right. 12.7 points, 77% of the snaps.
That helps about 12 people out there.
Was Jerome Baker was out there too, just had a terrible game.
Yeah, 1.25 points.
But
Off
he,
of
he
a
did
pretty
play
big-
100% though.
He had a big week, week 5. So yeah,
Speaking of big weeks, Zadarius Smith
Yeah, he's been great. this
making
year.
John Macri look brilliant for that call on the Week 6 preview podcast.
don't elevate Macri.
No, you shut up. You're the one who always shouts
No,
him
no,
out.
no,
I
no,
had to call him out on that because you guys have like a handshake agreement to always shout each other out.
Love you, Macri.
So yeah, Zadarius Smith went ham.
The
Jordan
whole
Hicks.
defense did.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Harrison Smith, 25. Daniil Hunter, 24. And you don't see this very often where the top 5 are all above 20 points. But that's what you have here. with-
Patrick Jones is really surprising.
Yeah, tell
though.
me about Patrick Jones.
Just out of nowhere. I mean,
Who is this guy?
This was their, I think, 3rd or 4th round pick in 2021.
Yep.
Is he a defensive tackle?
Defensive end.
Defensive
He's an
end,
edge
okay.
rusher. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if Wanham was. I don't see Wanham out here. I don't know what his usage looked like. But yeah, I mean, seeing Patrick Jones getting run and being productive, that's we'll put a
Put a pin in that.
put a pin in that. Yeah. So yeah, great job for the Vikings to start the year, man. I mean,
How you feeling at 5-1? Do you believe in this team? You think they've got some juice?
do I believe in them? No.
Because Kirk's their quarterback.
I do love Kirk just getting a new chain like every week.
I do like that.
Icy.
Yeah,
I do
that's,
like that.
That's drippy.
I love that.
I always love his face too. He's like, "Yeah, guys, look at my chains."
Yeah, my favorite things right now are the Kirk chains and then also the Mike Gesicki gritties.
Oh man,
Those are amazing.
He looks like he's doing the gritty after he threw his back out, picking a box up off the garage floor.
I love that
I
we
can relate to that gritty.
I love it.
I love that we couldn't even put Pat Pete's 23 points, Eric Kendricks
right?
14.75, or Cameron Bynum's
right.
13.5.
Good lord, they really did ball out.
Yeah, that whole team. Good gosh, if you just started the Vikings in IDP,
You started
you
their
probably
whole
won.
lineup. Yeah, you probably won.
Yeah.
Jalen Phillips, 10.2 points. He got a half a sack, 73% of the snaps. He actually looks really good PFF wise. Pressures are starting to come through now, so expect the production to come.
See
as
if we
well.
get a little late season surge. That'd be nice.
I do wish you could believe in the Vikings because I do like the Vikings, but there is just part of the coaching
Kirk
is fun.
going to turn into a
Yep.
pumpkin at
just
some
when
point.
when the lights are on and it matters
seen
the
this.
most.
They'll shift them
we know.
into a Sunday night
We don't
game.
have to get sucked into the Vikings. We can just enjoy them for what they are while they're that. And then,
Fun regular season
Exactly.
team. You got Justin Jefferson.
yeah.
That's
Dalvin Cook looks good too. Irv Smith looks all right this year. Thielen's old. KJ Osborne is not great.
Thielen's banged up too. He's every single week he's got some type of injury. it
He's
seems.
old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Caught a touchdown this week, though.
He's
That was
not
good
older
to
than
see.
us.
I think he's about our age.
Yeah, close
Maybe
to it.
32, 33.
Dang.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Respect, Thielen.
We're old.
So, speaking of teams that got a big dub this week, Baba, why don't
Just
you talk us through your Rams?
Not doing it. It's not even worth it. You just continue on, Josh.
24-10 victory over the Panthers.
Not worth
Wow,
it.
the Panthers, PJ Walker.
PJ Walker experience, Babo.
I didn't even watch it. Was it in L.A. or was it in Carolina? Do you know?
It was in L.A.
Yeah, I know. I don't really want to talk about IDP here. Ernest Jones played fine. He had an INT, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, who would have thought you would have wanted the Panthers linebackers in this matchup? Corey Littleton and Shaq Thompson compared to Bobby Wagner and Ernest Jones, but that's how it turned out.
Yeah, the Rams suck. Rams suck on both sides of the ball. I don't know.
Now, it did help that the Panthers played 65 defensive snaps while the Rams played just 44. So that, I think, gave a nice little boost to Thompson and Littleton, who both scored really well. Littleton 15.2, Thompson 20.25. But yeah, Ernest Jones down there at 11.75 and Wagner
75% of snaps, though.
Yeah.
My
Your
flag plant's coming
looking
to
pretty
fruition.
good. That may
I
be the
believe.
only one that comes to fruition
No,
for us. But
we got Rashawn Gary, top 12. I think that's going to happen for sure.
I think Nick Scott may total like 8% of snaps for the season. I think David Long,
Not Nick Scott.
Nick Scott,
Nick Cross.
Nick Cross, thank you. I was like, Nick Scott, who is that? I was
It's
like, that's
the
not
Rams
right.
safety.
I was like, that's not correct. That's where I saw it. Okay, good. I'm not having a stroke. I actually did just see this name. So,
Where's Cam Akers going? I'm going to give Sig a little shout out. I think I know where he's going, but you tell me what you think.
I think the Rams pull off some kind of mega trade, Akers plus picks for Christian McCaffrey.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Wow.
That would be spicy, right? McVay's a little desperate. He's like, my God, we got to do
He's
something.
already in town this last weekend.
I'm telling you.
I don't know. I don't
They
think
want multiple first. GTFO with that.
Yeah.
You'll be lucky to get a second.
Also, go
We're
back.
laughing at that.
Yeah.
Schefter had a pretty cool tweet. I think it was yesterday. All the running backs that are going to be free agents this next year, and it's like
It's nice.
10 to 12 pretty nasty names.
All right, so where's he going? Give us your prediction.
I agree with Sig. I could see the Bills.
Yeah.
I think that's a possibility. I think they kind of have a need there. I don't know if Akers has anything left. I'm not trading for Akers at this point, but I don't think there's any trade the Rams can do, like an OBJ trade from last year. That's
They're
gonna all of a
too
sudden put them
broken
in
for like
contention. Yep.
instant fix.
But
yeah.
Van Jefferson comes back this week. You dropped him too soon.
Strike
one.
No, thank you.
Nah, drop Jefferson.
Drop Jefferson.
You guys backing on A-Rob?
No,
No,
someone
Josh
comes
trying
trade
to
for
pedal
him.
him
I
off.
know that some of our
Ham
league mates
sandwich is
listen.
what
yeah,
Josh
just
said.
literally give me a ham
What did he do
sandwich.
this week?
Everyone's
5 for 30 and a touchdown, I
Yeah,
think.
it was like 13, 14 points.
Everyone acts like he put up like 40 points or
I'm
something.
just like, please come get this guy. Oh, who won? Do we have
The
a?
Chargers won in OT with a field goal.
All right, there you go, Broncos.
So the Chargers go to 4-2 and the Broncos go to 2-4.
So good news, Addy, is that even if you're like, oh, I got Brian Burns as opposed to Yetur Gross-Matos, well, Gross-Matos actually outscored Brian Burns this week. So just one of those fluky weeks, folks. You see it a lot here as we go through
happens.
all of these games, especially now. You're going to hear a lot of edge rushers bottom out like less than 5 points. It happens.
These guys don't get a sack every single game.
Yeah,
They don't get
that's-
5 tackles every single game.
Nope. You guys are wrong. Gross-Matos is taking over that room.
49% of stats.
He's the leader there
He's
now.
the leader.
He's the leader.
Look at me. Look at me. I am the captain. Now,
What movie
boys,
is that, Josh?
that's Captain Phillips with Tom Hanks.
Sure.
Great
Seen
movie.
it.
So, Seahawks, Cardinals. Seahawks get the 19-9 victory. Babo, Cardinals suck. They are bad football team.
We try to tell y'all.
Robbie Anderson now going to come in and save the day with Hollywood
That's gonna-
probably on the shelf for a little while.
It's going to fix them.
That's what that locker room needs.
It's going to
Let's
fix them.
drop in the guy who literally got sent to the locker room for arguing with his coach. That'll be good.
Yeah, the Cardinals do suck.
Maybe Kyler just needed a new Call of Duty buddy.
Was that? I meant to ask you too. Is that this weekend the 888
Triple.
888 scores or whatever it's called?
Just got to hit you with this.
Not great, Bob.
Not great, Bob. I put it back on the board. just for
What's
you,
it
Bob.
called, Josh?
Double XP weekend.
Double.
Triple X.
888. What? Is that a car thing?
I thought I remembered you saying that
Oh,
last week or a
sheesh.
couple weeks ago.
So on the Seahawks side,
888 weekend.
Just trying to piece it together
Yeah.
on your own.
just
Triple something. No.
triple X. Nope, that's what I'm going to be tuning into after I leave the Sode
There's
Shack.
Macri's little Bob checks into.
Yeah, Bob checks in on the internet.
There you go. There's your weekly check-in.
Bob talks about the what's going on in the youth culture.
So is what is this game called? Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones. What are you talking about, Bob? It's Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. That's right. Is it like
Game of Thrones is a TV show?
is it like Halo?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's like a first-person shooter.
Okay, so you just like
Call of Duty's more like war, though, right?
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
actual
more
war.
realistic.
Yeah.
so you have a team that goes around and you have like 5-on-5.
Yeah, I think that's what they're really promoting with this newest one is like getting your squad together.
Cool.
So
It's fun.
Can you
it is a fun game.
can you strafe like in
Oh
Goldeneye?
yeah, you just strafe like crazy.
I don't know if you can you hump and stuff like
I
you
hope
do in-
so. I would assume so.
Surely they've worked that in. Like
Yeah.
in Halo.
They probably added dancers for this one, like Fortnite. We are definitely
Y'all don't have
yeah.
this game yet.
We're Halo boys.
Yeah,
Okay.
Halo boys.
Okay.
I've been on Gears of War recently as well.
How
Great
many
game.
hours a week will you play video games?
Nah,
Shoot,
now.
none. Yeah, I mean maybe if I'm lucky, a couple
One.
hours here and there.
Yeah, 1 or 2. if
Madden.
you're lucky.
Franchise.
Usually doze off.
Yeah, just
Doze off on the edit player screen.
Yeah, exactly. Wake up and you got maxed out Adam Markham number 69 for the Vikings.
Never play the game. Just
Yeah.
edit the players.
Just edit
That's all it
everyone.
is. We just get too tired.
So yeah, way too tired. But yeah, Seahawks 19, Cardinals 9. Ryan Neal, he hopped on the Zadarius Smith train, making John Macri look like a genius again.
And your boy.
yeah, and Daddy as well.
We
so
called that. I mean, that was easy.
that was
a
easy.
no-brainer.
Well, he'd done it before, and that's why I was like, why are we doing this Josh Jones thing?
Yep.
Let's get some Ryan Neal in there. and get Josh Jones the hell out of there.
Give Adam a little bit more credit too, because either last week or 2 pods ago, Tariq Woolen, Adam brought up his name, and
He's been great.
The chaos continues with 19.25 points in week 6. The boy might be the cornerback 1 right now.
He's good.
He's really good.
Did you see when they asked about his interception? He's like, "Yeah, I don't know why you would throw at a 6'4" cornerback who runs a 4.25 40." I was
Filthy.
like, "That is swag."
How was that dude a 5th-round pick?
I don't know. Did he have some character stuff, like
Maybe
off the
so.
field
Maybe
concerns,
so.
or did he test poorly? But Addy, another little feather in the cap here as well. I don't know if Zaven's season is taking off, but 35.05 points on 100% of snaps for Zaven Collins. Pretty juicy.
That's what we've been looking for. That upside that we've been talking about. That's what we've been waiting on. So yeah, I mean the fact that we know that he has that in him. I mean that's good stuff, man. It's and then the fact that he's been playing 100% of the snaps all year.
That's what you really want to see.
He's been their lead linebacker,
He is the guy.
and there's been no doubt about it. And now he's producing with it. And yeah, he seems entrenched. They seem to trust him. Good stuff. Good stuff for Zaven Collins. I mean, this is great news for his value. I think he's definitely worth a 2nd-round pick, confirmed. I think there was a little bit of like, oh, God, do I need to get out of this guy now? Like, no, I think you
Just hold.
Just hold and be
Yeah,
patient.
just enjoy the ride.
Let's talk about the disappointment side of Arizona. So Budda Baker, last couple weeks, 8, 7, 5, 12, and 8 points. Let me
Not
pull
great.
up Jalen Thompson also, because
Yeah.
I don't feel like Jalen.
7.75. Both him and Baker played 100% of snaps.
Jalen's been okay. So he had 7.5 this week, 8.25, 12, 11, 12. So nothing.
It's an interesting game, though. You look at who scored well for the Cardinals. It was all of their defensive line and their linebackers. Marcus Golden.
Had a sack.
What about Cameron Thomas and Myjai Sanders getting in the mix there as well? Only on 13 and 12% of snaps, but obviously made an impact in their few opportunities. And then Simmons and Zaven Collins were the top scorers. Kind of an interesting game.
Gosh, Kingsbury could lose his job here pretty soon.
That's why I said 5 and 12.
Him and
Kime
Kime.
and Kingsbury are getting fired.
But it's time.
It's time.
Get them out of here.
That's right. Let's keep it rolling, boys. And talk
Gino
about
just beat you.
Yeah, let's talk about the game of the year, at least on paper thus far, and I think it delivered. It was enjoyable. Chiefs lose to the Bills 24-20. The offensive pieces for the Chiefs and Bills shine bright on the big stage, but so did our IDPs. Take a bow. Bolton, Jones, Snead, Miller, and Milano showed up big. Nick Bolton, Bobo, continues to look like an LB1.
Absolutely. That's what we wanted to see. That's what we had thought last year that he was turning into. We just needed the snaps. That's all, Adam kind of said it early on this year. We're going to bet on talent. And Bolton is talented, if you ask me. In my opinion, I think Bolton is a really good linebacker. I wanted to pull up his PFF grades on the season. So right now he's at a 73 overall grade, run defensive 71, and then he has a coverage grade of right at about 70. So very solid. Could be worse, could be better. But
It's really good for a
Yeah.
linebacker.
very efficient tackler, which gives a little bit more credence to Macri and his incredible chart. But
There you are.
yeah, man, Bolton, I love it. And this is the point of the season to where, like I said earlier, we kind of know what we know at this point. I don't really know that a whole lot of this stuff is going to change. L'Jarius Sneed is going to need to stay in your lineup. Antoine Winfield needs to stay in your lineup. Von Miller needs to be in your lineup. I mean, aside from injuries and the Ryan Neals and the Bobby Okereke type situations that we will, keep you abreast on, most of
Good
this
use of
stuff
abreast.
is going to, be pretty solid from one week to the next.
Yeah. The Bills players showed up as well, 26.4 for Von Miller. He said before the game, he's like, I know I'm going to play a lot, and I'm going to have to play well. And that's why I ultimately went with him. I was like, I think Von Miller, this is the reason. And you heard it in the analysis as well. After the game, I think Greg Rosenthal said it on the show. This is the reason they brought Von Miller in, and he was the difference in the game.
Yep.
And another answer to your question, Bobo, you asked us last week, who's the best linebacker in the NFL? Just strictly NFL on-field talent. We said Fred Warner. Greg actually said he thought Matt Milano should be in that discussion as well, playing very well this season. And I think Nate and Robert brought that up on the Athletic Football Show as well, how well Milano is playing. So
Y'all agree with that?
Milano's always been a great
Yes.
linebacker. He struggled with health lately.
yeah. But 10.7, 5 points, 97% of snaps. How about this, Eddie?
83 overall grade on the year and 86 in coverage.
That's
for Milano.
really good.
There you go.
How about this story? Did you see this about Jordan Poyer, Eddie?
Yeah, where he
Real football guy?
went rogue.
Yeah, he drove to the game 15 hours because the doctor did not clear him to fly because they worried that the pressure of the airplane at that altitude could affect the, I think, swelling in his ribs.
Okay, yeah.
So he's like, you can't get on a plane. You can play. You just can't fly. So he literally drove himself to the stadium.
That's a big-ass game.
Now,
yeah, you're not
Josh,
missing that.
Are you believing that he drove himself?
Yeah.
Josh, it's a multi-million-dollar safety.
I mean, maybe he had a driver, but
Yeah.
still, you're in the car for 15
yeah,
hours.
I want it to be clear.
He may have one of those Teslas that drive themselves, you know?
I guess that's possible.
Yeah. How about that, Bobo?
Hey, congratulations on getting a rental car. What's that like?
When did I get a rental car?
No, I'm just saying for Jordan Poyer, it's
for
like
Jordan
impossible to
Poyer.
get rental cars right now.
I've had to get some recently, and I've actually had luck. But I'm always worried they're going to stick me with like a 16-passenger van.
What's wrong with them?
Oh, they're just like you can't rent them anymore. I mean,
It's hard.
It's like with everything. Lumber's high, bacon's high.
as we know.
You can't get a rental car.
Truly, bringing home the bacon is now back in vogue.
world's falling apart.
So when I can't get my rental car and put my bacon in there, damn it.
Put my lumber on top.
That's right, and put my lumber on top with a string.
Why even live?
Why even live? That's a great question.
Y'all want to see me blow my head off?
We'll do it on a live stream. Save it for the YouTubes.
Oh, me.
Let's wrap things up, boys, with Sunday Night Football. We mentioned that the Chargers just beat the Broncos in overtime, so we'll wrap things up with Eagles-Cowboys. Eagles get the 26-17 victory over the Cooper Rush-led Cowboys. Back to the bench with you, Cooper Rush. It was fun while it lasted, but Bailey Zappe's the only backup that we want anything to do with. The Cowboys' defense was the story coming into the game, but it was the IDPs for the Eagles who put up the better collective performance thanks to their secondary trio of CJ, Gardner, Deuce, Johnson, Bradbury, Slay. This secondary for the Eagles was a concern coming into the season, Addy, but my God, what a unit this team has put together.
Yeah, for sure. With CJ Gardner-Johnson, he did get 2 picks, so I mean that's definitely boosting his.
Came back into the game, injured the hand.
I know I was worried, like, oh no, we just lost him for the year because
Yep.
he looked fantastic in that game. It always does. He's one of the best players in the league. So much fun to watch every week. Yeah, Darius Slay. I mean, he's nice to see him have a good game, but you just can't rely on him at all.
No.
TJ Edwards, though, he has been fantastic this year.
17.5 points.
Kazir White's also been fine. You know, he's not getting the 90% of the snaps are up, but I mean he's a solid LB 3-4 for you every week. And I saw he was in the news for something.
Maybe he drove to the game as well.
He was chirping at CeeDee Lamb or something about he was covering CeeDee Lamb one-on-one and made like a pass deflection or something.
Kazir.
Kazir, yeah.
That's kind of cool. He's
Um,
got the visor too.
Yeah. The visor game has been pretty strong this year.
You know what's crazy about the Eagles is they just got casually first-round pick N'Kobe Dean just chilling.
yeah.
3 snaps this year I saw.
And aren't they going to have
3
a high
snaps.
pick next year as well? Don't they have someone's pick?
Yes, I believe
Saints?
so. Yes, because of the trade
Char-
where the Saints moved up in the draft, right? They picked up a first.
Man,
So
they're in a good spot.
Eagles are doing it right.
You guys
They're doing
like,
it very well.
You guys believe in Jalen Hurts?
I do. I'm a believer. I think he doesn't have the highest ceiling in the world,
He's limited.
but the coaching there has really set him up for success. I think that team knows what they need to lean on week to week. Okay, let's run it a bunch. Let's throw a bunch of running back screens. Let's have Jalen scramble. I think it's a well-coached team that's going to be really tough to beat in the playoffs.
I love now in hindsight the A.J. Brown move. I think they saw last year what Hurts could be, but not just by himself, not by himself, but not with just Devonta Smith. Devonta Smith is a great number 2, but to put Devonta Smith with A.J. Brown, you still have Goddard.
Just having a breakout
he's
season.
so underrated.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
so good.
It's hilarious, too, the amount of running backs that they use. Like, it's pretty rotational. Miles Sanders has been good this year, and then Boston Scott gets 30% of snaps last night. All of a sudden, Kenny Gainwell comes in. They're doing it right. It's Josh, it's a fantastic call that you had on our preseason pod.
My flag plans are looking awful, but my season predictions are looking okay so far.
Are the Eagles pretty much in everyone's like top 3 power rankings? Are they
Yeah.
the best team in the NFC?
They're the best team in the NFC for sure. I think it's Bills, Chiefs, Eagles would be probably everyone's top 3 in the power rankings.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And I don't think you ding the Cowboys too much here. I mean, I think the Eagles are really good. I think you had Cooper Rush at the helm. I think the ceiling goes up considerably once Dak is back in the lineup, which sounds like it's going to be this next week, hopefully. And they've got some cupcakes on the schedule. I think they play the Bears and somebody else terrible, maybe the Mandos.
I think you got that AFC and NFC backwards. You said Chiefs, Bills, Eagles. Eagles are NFC.
That's what I'm saying. The Eagles are the best NFC team and just
Okay,
top 3
okay,
overall.
I got you.
It's Bills and Chiefs in the AFC for me.
Y'all think Bills are the best team now? I mean, just beating the Chiefs.
I think so.
Yeah.
They have the best defense, probably the best offense.
Best quarterback?
I think so. For what he does with his legs. I mean, I think him and Mahomes are both next level, but man, you saw Josh Allen's out there hurling people.
Yeah.
That's special. That Bills team, I think, is due. Can you imagine if we have a Bills-Eagles Super Bowl? I saw a great tweet.
Dude.
It's like, we do not have enough infrastructure in this country to support an Eagles-Bills Super Bowl with those two fan bases.
I mentioned that at one of the pods. I mean, that's in Scottsdale.
Yes.
With the same time as the Waste Management Open.
Oh, my gosh. Scottsdale will be reduced
Truly,
to rubble.
there will be
burn.
so many deaths.
Oh, no. Alexis is... what did she think we were hailing her for?
Stop it, Alexa!
Yeah, stop. Just stop. Unplug
You're
yourself.
scaring the hell out of us. What's going on, Josh? I want to leave.
I think it's time to get out of here. I think
She was trying to get us tickets to the Waste Management Open.
She was, I think. I don't know why.
Josh, would you like to go to the Super Bowl?
Yes, we just bought you tickets. $36,000 will be on your credit card.
Wow, man, that's crazy. It'd be fun to see Bills Chiefs in the AFC and then have Super Bowl be Eagles Bills.
That'd be fun.
Primo.
Yep.
Quick little question for you boys. Since we've seen
Oh, I don't like this.
Troy Anderson
Gets close to his mic.
already get on the field, already be productive, are you guys feeling weird about Nakobe Dean? Like, do you value Nakobe Dean less than Troy Anderson at this point just because we've seen Anderson get on the field? Or do you still sticking pretty firm to...
I'd still have Nakobe Dean ahead in Dynasty, but it's close.
They're right there together.
Yeah.
Right?
I think they're bunched up.
I could see Anderson being ahead, because when it really gets down to it, what are we doing here? Why?
a great question, Bobo.
I'm just saying, why value Dean over Anderson? Like,
We've seen that Anderson looks like a guy that's going to get 10 tackles a game.
What's the point? Like, why not go ahead and just say, I'll
Is
go
Dean
ahead and
going to be a JOK type? He's one of these fast, undersized linebackers.
I think that's a great trade. If you wanted to move Nakobe Dean for a Troy Anderson plus, I bet you somebody would give you Troy
get
Anderson
plus.
plus. I think that's a trade. It's kind of essentially what I wrote in that article for the website a week or so ago about Trayvon Walker. If you can move Josh Allen right now for Trayvon Walker and a second, maybe you do that. Go get you an extra pick coming up for 2023. But I agree with you, Adam.
Here's the thing, though. Has the Troy Anderson window closed, though? Because so many people are just prisoners of the moment. They're going to say, oh, Dean's not playing. Troy Anderson's out there, just got 12 tackles.
I don't think so. I don't think Troy Anderson's quite the household name quite yet.
But maybe now's the time to go try and trade for Dean.
Oh, yeah.
Because Anderson,
Especially if
the time to trade for Anderson was a few weeks ago. I think you can still get in now. But
And if you have if the manager has Nakobe Dean sitting on their bench and they're in contention, maybe they need a little juice at linebacker. Because what
hopefully
happens?
they got Rashawn Evans or Michael Walker.
Yeah,
or
what happens
something.
when Michael Walker comes back?
That may be the thing to do. Go scope out the teams that has.
Nakobe Dean.
Yeah.
Sig just said that too on our pod with him a couple weeks ago. He said start paying attention to the teams that have Nakobe Dean and Brian Asamoah and some
Channing
of these.
Tyndall.
Yes,
Yep.
Some of these Chad Muma, some of
guys
these
that are coming,
underproducing guys.
Just they're not producing right now, right? Especially
That's
and
interesting.
you're playing off that idea of like, okay, this guy's a contender. He doesn't need Nakobe Dean, Channing Tyndall, Brian Asamoah right now. I have an asset that I believe in less than those guys. Let me ship him off. He's performing right now. I can go get a better long-term prospect in exchange.
I bet you could get somebody to give you maybe Nakobe plus for Anderson right
I think
now.
you could.
I think you could go both ways. I think you could get plus for either of those guys. It just depends on your situation. That's a great question.
Good question, Addy.
Good
I
one to
always
think
get a
about.
little nervous when you lean into the mic and you kind of got that grin on your face. I don't know what's going to
I'm
come
in the
out.
ranks all the time, so I'm constantly thinking about these
That's
things.
kind of the other thing that you got to think about as well. You know, with Jaquan Brisker looking great already, you know, Kyle Hamilton,
Yeah.
Marcus Williams just went out for the year, right? Done for the
They
season.
think he'd be back maybe later in the season.
Yeah,
Did
this
but-
is a wrist, I think, right?
yeah.
Did
wrist
Hamilton
injury.
play much last week? Did
A
his
little
snaps
more.
increase?
A little more. I think he was in the 40s.
Still Geno Stone, though.
But Stone played 75%.
We still just good with Hamilton.
Yeah, you're concerned.
It'll be his time. I just think the Ravens can't keep rolling out this Geno Stone character.
Yeah, well, that's what we said for a while about.
It may be a Zaven Collins situation where he has to just, learn the defense and his opportunity will come next year.
but
And they have solid depth there. I mean, Marcus Williams, Chuck Clark, those are very good vets. That's gonna mean if you're not playing well, they don't have
The
to play
Ravens develop talent well, but they also love their vets. I mean, you got JPP in the building, got Calais Campbell.
you. Yeah, really. Like Patrick Queen's like the only one that they're like giving him a long leash. Like I figured like his time would
from the
already come.
jump he was
Yeah.
in. Green dot, like I felt like his rookie year.
which is odd.
Yeah.
Which is why we thought that Hamilton would get the run early on as, okay, the Ravens clearly have a history demonstrated here of first-round defensive picks. They're going to get these guys out there. Well, not the case. So, great question, Addy. Makes me want to go, I love having your yell on the board now. It's just fantastic. In case you ever lost your voice and couldn't scream, we
That's
can do
your
it right
alarm
there.
for your phone in the morning.
Can you imagine?
over and
There's just screaming. Be horrifying.
Kids are crying.
Just everyone's in tears. Well, hey, great tease. I believe we're working on the prep right now for the next Sigmund Bloom IDP Blitz episode. It's going to be coming at y'all November 1st, so right after spooky season ends and thankful season begins. We're going to be looking at IDP Dynasty trades, sort of how do we approach trades when different pieces are involved, picks and IDPs and offensive players. We're going to look at some, okay, if you're trading Micah Parsons, what do you want in return? Kind of some hypothetical trade scenarios. It's going to be a lot of fun. We love talking trades. Probably one of my favorite parts of fantasy to talk about.
Yep.
Not mine. I hate trades.
Yeah, Bobby's never traded a day in his life.
I haven't traded in about 7 days.
Bobby, no kidding, makes at least I feel like one trade a week.
I was going to say 1.5, over under 1.5 trades per week.
I wonder like what your streak is.
I don't know.
Like Cal Ripken over there.
Seriously, the Iron Man of trading. Well, hope you all have enjoyed this episode. Thanks for tuning in.
You're Ripken's son. You're Ripken's brother.
I have
Yeah.
a coach.
What's his name?
Old F face.
Billy.
Billy
Billy
Ripken.
Ripken.
There we go. You're Billy Ripken.
I never looked for that one.
Yeah, you gotta find that one, Bobo. But
Did I
we'll
tell
be
you
back.
guys I have it. I do have it, but they blocked out the.
Yeah, you gotta have the original with the
gosh.
F face on there. We'll be back at y'all later this week. Bobo, Young King will be coming back with
Wow.
the Week 7 preview.
It's going to be bad.
Is it?
It's going to be horrible.
It's gonna be our worst episode ever.
We're going to recommend you bench everyone in IDP.
Exactly. Just give the worst possible takes to see if people still tune in. But thank you all for checking out this episode. If you haven't subscribed to the website, theidpshow.com, we're actually doing another free preview week. So Boo Bam's waiver wire article went out to all the subscribers this week.
Maybe we need to let people in and look at the ranks for a second. I don't know that they know what they're missing in there.
I think maybe that would be very hard on Josh to replicate all the permissions if we change the...
You can figure it out.
No, I can't. No, I cannot.
Gosh.
Maybe
Someone
we
out
can
there can
send
reach out
out
to
some
Josh.
screenshots, Addy. How about that?
Someone out there reach out to Josh, walk him through it. He's going to be up all night, so he's available.
Oh, I know how to do it. I'm just not going to do it. But yeah, check it out. TheIDPshow.com. All the premium content will be free this week. So check that out. And we've got some good stuff in the works as well. So check it out. TheIDPshow.com. If you like the show, if you want to support the show, consider becoming a paid supporter over there as well. Gentlemen, appreciate y'all as always. I think the cold's here to stay.
I don't know. I think it's actually going to warm up this weekend. I think I'm going to get out there and golf some.
Yeah, look at you.
I'm always looking ahead, Joshy boy. There's always windows, baby.
That's right. And he's on that weather app, by God. He's going to find the time.
Truly.
But hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Until later this week, Bobo.
Hated it.
Yeah. And the Young King will be back with the Week 7 preview. And we'll see you guys next week for the Week 7 recap. Until then, we'll see y'all soon.